Currently, one of the hottest issues causing concern and frustration among many British citizens is the government's consideration of raising capital gains tax to 39%, a decision that could completely shatter the investment ecosystem and plunge the economy into crisis. This figure has not only shocked investors, but also ordinary citizens. But why has this tax hike provoked such a strong reaction? What makes it referred to as a political suicide move? By suddenly proposing such an exorbitantly high tax rate, the government risks strangling economic growth, forcing investors to reconsider every decision and pull out of the UK market. It's not just about the money, but also about the trust in the future of the economy. Let's dive deeper into why this tax increase could shake the nation and whether it will truly salvage the financial situation or simply lead to an unwanted collapse. Capital gains tax is a type of tax imposed on profits from the sale of assets such as real estate, stocks, or businesses. When an individual or business sells an asset and makes a profit, they are required to pay a tax based on the amount of the gain. Currently, the capital gains tax rate in the UK is around 20%, but with the new proposal, the government wants to raise that figure to 39%, nearly double the current tax rate. At first glance, raising taxes seems like a way for the government to collect billions of pounds to invest in public services like healthcare and education. But in reality, it's not that simple. When taxes rise too high, it directly affects those with large assets and investors. Many will choose to stay put and not sell their assets to avoid this huge tax burden. This leads to a drop in transactions, and instead of increasing tax revenue, it may actually decrease, dragging down the real estate and investment markets. A clear example is a real estate investor who had planned to sell a property to make a profit. But upon hearing that the capital gains tax could rise to 39%, he backed out, deciding to keep the property rather than sell it. At a 20% tax rate, he could make a significant profit, but with the tax nearly doubling, most of the profit would vanish into the hands of the government. This is the key concern for many experts. Taxes that are too high will not encourage asset sales. On the contrary, they will slow down the market and potentially cause severe harm to the economy. Compared to other European countries, the capital gains tax rate in the UK is already among the highest. In France, Germany and Spain, the tax only ranges from 25% to 30%. However, if the UK tax is pushed up to 39%, it will not only far exceed its neighbouring countries, but also become one of the highest tax rates in Europe. This not only astonishes investors, but also raises deep concerns about the UK's economic competitiveness in the global market. Increasing the capital gains tax may seem like a way to inject billions of pounds into the national budget, but in reality, it can have the opposite effect. Instead of attracting investment, it may cause both domestic and international investors to hesitate, fearing the prospect of facing such an overwhelming tax burden. Why invest in a market where the government swallows nearly half of their profits when they could choose other countries with more favourable tax rates? Investors could quickly withdraw their funds, leading to a significant drop in capital flowing into the UK, which would in turn result in an economic downturn. This is not just a meaningless figure. Raising taxes can shake the confidence of the financial sector and foreign businesses in the future of the UK economy. This impact does not stop at the financial investment sector. It can also hit the real estate market hard. Many property owners may hesitate or even refuse to sell their homes or other assets because they do not want to hand over a large portion of their profits to the government. When these transactions stagnate, the housing supply will become severely constrained, driving property prices skyrocketing and making the market chaotic. Not only investors, but also ordinary citizens, those who have been struggling to buy homes amid soaring prices, will face even more headaches in finding affordable housing. The consequences of increasing the capital gains tax are not just a matter for the wealthy or investors, it can shake the entire market. This policy could lead the government to collect less tax than expected, but the cost will be slow economic growth, a stifled real estate market, and indifference from international investors. Without appropriate adjustments, a 39% tax rate will not be a victory for the national budget, but rather a ticking time bomb poised to explode, pushing the economy into an unprecedented precarious situation. the increase in capital gains tax is not the only card the government is considering. Other proposals, such as taxing the ultra-wealthy or privatising public services like education, are also gateways that the administration is discussing. However, many experts believe that these solutions carry serious risks and could lead to unpredictable consequences. Rachel Reeves, a prominent and often controversial politician, has boldly proposed taxing the ultra-wealthy to increase revenue for the budget. But instead of gaining support, this proposal has faced strong backlash. Financial experts have warned that imposing excessive taxes on the ultra-wealthy could drive them out of the country, leading them to transfer money abroad or use legal tricks to avoid taxation. This not only results in the government collecting less than expected, but also creates a deep inequality in the tax system, where the wealthy can easily evade the law while ordinary citizens bear all the consequences. Moreover, the search for alternative solutions to increase revenue is also giving the government headaches. Many believe that raising income tax on the wealthy would be a stronger approach than increasing capital gains tax. However, this is not a smooth path. Any move to impose higher income taxes will face fierce opposition from powerful interest groups and could seriously undermine public trust in the government. The current situation is not just a battle of wits over tax policies, but also a life or death gamble concerning public trust and the health of the economy. If the government does not consider carefully, these decisions could push the UK into a financial crisis with unpredictable consequences. In addition to the controversies surrounding taxes, another figure causing quite a stir in British politics is Sue Gray, who gained fame for investigating the Partygate scandal involving the government's illegal parties during the COVID-19 lockdown. However, Gray has now shifted from being an investigator to becoming a huge burden for politician Keir Starmer. The unexpected arrival of Sue Gray in Keir Starmer's camp has ignited endless debates. Many opinions suggest that she is a disruptive force, severely undermining Starmer's credibility. But that's not all. Every decision and move made by Sue Gray in recent times has been scrutinised in detail, creating an undercurrent of instability within British politics. What was once a point of pride regarding Gray's sharp investigative skills has now become a double-edged sword, forcing Starmer to face a wave of criticism from both allies and opponents. While British politics is in turmoil, in the United States, Hurricane Milton has caused severe damage in Florida. This storm has left over 4 million households and businesses without power, resulting in significant property damage and more than a dozen fatalities. Hurricane Milton is one of the strongest storms of this hurricane season, and it rapidly intensified as it approached the US coast. Meteorologists have recorded a drop in atmospheric pressure of up to 50 millibars within a few hours, indicating the storm's swift increase in strength. The primary cause of this phenomenon is the above-normal sea surface temperatures in the Gulf of Mexico and the Atlantic Ocean. The current hurricane season is not yet over, and forecasts suggest that many more powerful storms will impact the US coast. Many experts predict that, given the current state of climate change, future storms will become increasingly stronger and cause even more damage. We are facing a turbulent period, where controversial changes in tax policy in the UK and devastating natural disasters in the US are forcing the world to brace itself. Increasing capital gains tax may help the government bring in billions of pounds in the short term, but in the long run, it could undermine the economy, creating unpredictable consequences. At the same time, the brutal Hurricane Milton is sounding the alarm about the urgency of addressing climate change. This is not just a natural disaster. It is also an environmental crisis that demands immediate action. If you are interested in the latest news about global politics, economics and the environment, please subscribe to our channel to not miss any updates.